Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for interrupting your regularly scheduled program. However, we are getting massive reports that are so massive and so large, it smacks you right in the face. One witness stating that it was so long and massive that it smacked her a few times, and before she knew it, she didn't even know what happened. It is so large, it is so crazy that people have stopped what they're doing, hit like and subscribe because this is none other but Top of the Tailgate.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Good morning, Fin fans, and welcome to a special episode of Top of the Tailgate. Today's excitement is palpable, to say the least, as we gather around the digital tailgate, if you want to call it. to soak in all that what? All that anticipation, the drama, the triumphs of the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry I can't even speak this morning. It is draft day. That is right. We are here to reap in all the excitement from that. Everything from the potential game changers to the unexpected surprises, everything in the amazing backhanded deals and stuff that happens in the background. We're here to sit down and enjoy it. Today should be considered a holiday, to be honest. That's the reality, right? It's the one time during the off season that football in itself, if it had a pulse, beats just as much as it does during the regular season or even during the Super Bowl. The only time it beats just as much, in my opinion, is this day, draft day, right? It's the one thing that us fans have to hope for, going into the off season, seeing who the future of our team is, figuring out which of these players are going to be that amazing sleeper, diamond in the rough, if you want to call it. That's the reality of it. It's draft day, man. Get excited. Top of the tailgate's back. That's right. It's been a hot minute since I've been around these parts, right? I know you guys at home are probably like, oh my God, it's Ali the Persian. Holy crap, where you been, man? Well, life gets in the way, man. New position at work, got stuff going on, family, children, a lot of stuff's going on. So because of that, I haven't been around. But that doesn't mean I haven't been around, if you know what I mean. I've been here. I've been, in the shadows, if you want to call it. Listening, hearing what you guys have to say, partaking on some streams here and there. I've just been really busy. But now I want to get this back and going now that I'm rejuvenated. I got the energy flowing. I want to, I'm excited, man. It's draft day. We get new players, right? We're seeing who the future of our team, and it's been a long time coming. But we have a first round draft pick, right? It seems like it's been 20 years, but it's only been what, 2 years without a first round draft pick, and we finally got one. All right. So before we start off doing anything, make sure you hit like and subscribe, right? Turn on notification bells. Get ready because it's going to be a great time, right? And check out some of the other shows that we got going on. El Capitan has a show. Jake, Money, and Lewis do the drive-by, the smoke lounges. Check out TMI Tuesdays. TMI is back, right? There was a great episode last week, right? Check out KP when he's on. Check out everybody when they're on, right? Make sure you follow everybody on Facebook too. If you want to donate to the channel, I appreciate it. We got accept Cash App, Venmo, Super Chats, all of that. I really appreciate it, right? So make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on notification bells. Let's get ready. Let's get into this. This is Top of the Tailgate. And what do we start Top of the Tailgate with? I'll tell you what we start top of the tailgate with. We started with coffee. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I got my coffee right here. You're the best. That's what my kids say to me. Today I'm drinking Folgers Classic Roast. And if you didn't know, Folgers has over 100 and what is it? About 150 years of history. Go check out their website. There's a huge long line of history of where they came from in the 18 something or other. But they've been around forever. So definitely check them out. This is a medium roast. And if you watched any of the other episodes of Top of the Tailgate, I usually have my coffee with 2 tablespoons of some type of creamer, preferably either a sweet almond creamer or hazelnut. Those are the 2 flavors that I like mostly. But yeah, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Let's get it going. So that's my coffee of the week. If you're wondering where Color is, I called him for this episode. He didn't answer. He might be busy, and the guy's probably tired or something. But he's definitely going to be on the show soon. I will talk to him. Make sure he comes back as well. Everybody from the tailgate, if you're in the chat, you're welcome up here anytime. This is a pre-recorded episode, so you won't be able to be in this episode, but any going on in the future, definitely welcome anytime. They already know. You're probably wondering, well, when did you record this? Well, it's after midnight, so technically it is today. I recorded this, but it's new to you guys. So let's talk about it. So by the time you're probably getting this show, there might be some breaking news or something that happened. That's going to be my luck, but that's okay. Um, it's good to talk about, what we got going on and move forward. So, that being said, what in the world is going on in the world of sports? Amon St. Brown signing multi-million-dollar deal, 120 million, getting that Tyreek money. I heard another podcast content creator say, "I told you so." You're gonna get that, Tyreek money. Well, he was absolutely right. Give him his props. Reason you were right. I'll say it. He's definitely right. They definitely came after Tyreek money. Amon St. Brown, in my opinion, definitely well deserved. I know last year I told people about Amon St. Brown. I even said it the year before Amon St. Brown was legit. I told people that you should have him on his fantasy team. Color even like Amon St. Brown, whatever. And then the very next week, Amon St. Brown blew up, right? Getting all the yards, getting all the touchdowns in fantasy points, right? So yeah, well deserved. I think he definitely deserved it. Definitely worth it. And the Lions weren't done there. They went ahead and signed an offensive. I think it was Sewell. I think is who they re-signed, extending him to like 110 million dollars as well. So shout out to him. Definitely worth the money. The Lions are making moves. They're making big moves, and I don't think they're gonna stop. Not even in this draft. I think there's some guys I could very well see them pick up that we're gonna talk about. And if you're wondering what's going on in this episode we're gonna be primarily talking about the draft. And also we're gonna do my final day of the draft mock draft. This is the only time I've ever done this. And it's a legit mock draft, nothing crazy. I've done it. I did it on Shake's show a couple days ago, maybe a week ago or so. But this is really the only time I'm going to do it on one of my shows. So you're in for a good ride here. What else do we got going on? Let me see if there's any late breaking news that came out recently. Let's see. I'm looking. Nothing there. Let's see here. Any late breaking news? Hearing the Heat won last night, so shout out to the Heat. Um, let's see. Nothing really crazy. Yeah, nothing really is going on, so we'll have to see what is up. But yeah. So if you're just joining us, yes, this is Top of the Tailgate. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're gonna get into this pretty shortly. I wanted to catch up with you guys, give you guys my mock draft, what I would do if I was the GM. This is a legit, serious draft that I'm gonna give you guys. Nothing crazy, nothing out of this world. It's actually what I expect from the Dolphins, to be honest. So I'm just looking to see if there was any breaking news that we can talk about. There really isn't at this point. So we'll keep it moving here. So it is time for some football, right? Actually, almost forgot. Let's not forget cause for cleats, right? I'm kind of rusty. Sorry, it's been a hot minute. Today's cause for cleats, just so you guys are aware. Hold on a second. What's up? I got my kid here, just woke up, and he's like, "Daddy, come play with me." I'm like, "No, I got a show to host." So let's keep it moving. So if you didn't know, today's cause for cleats, if you want to call it that, they changed the name now, from my understanding. So we're going to keep ours cause for cleats. Today's cause for cleats is brought to you by the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, or MS Society. So, if you, and just to clarify before I speak about them, we're in no way affiliated with the National MS Society, or any charity that we talk about when it comes to cause for cleats. We're just here to bring awareness. Maybe it helps somebody in the community or somebody watching at home and they need assistance or they need to know a resource that they can go to talk to somebody about whatever said charity is about. Then that's what we're here for. We're trying to help people out. That's all it is. We don't get any benefits, nothing from it, just so you're aware. Same thing with our coffee. Even though I do coffee reviews seldomly on here, um, we don't get anything from, Folgers coffee or anything. Nothing at all. We're just here to, have a good time, talk about coffee, talk about sports, and give you guys our opinion on the draft and also to give, awareness to a good cause, right? So, what is MS? Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health professional. I can't really tell you. But I can tell you, I do have some personal experience with this. I have a member, my mother, she actually and I can't tell you what causes it or what it causes, all that stuff. I can tell you what my mom's going through currently. And I can't tell you specifically because I'm not a certified doctor that this is because of the MS, but this is the condition that my mom is. And mom, if you're watching, I love you. I cannot tell you how much I love you because there's not a sentence or anything written or said to really express. My mom, unfortunately, she's completely disabled. Distance with everything that from doing daily activities, from getting from point A to point B, assistance in the shower, getting dressed. Yeah, she can move her arms and speak, maybe sit up, but she cannot completely not mobile at all. She's been in a wheelchair for quite a long time. Some days are better than others. There's different pain or some type of tingling or some type of sensation going on with her muscles and stuff like that. And in that being said, it can be very irritating. Um, it can be very rough on a person having MS. But here's something I do know: MS is different for everybody. So what my mom might be going through, someone else might have a complete different. They might be completely mobile. They may have it and you don't even know. That's how different it can be, for somebody. And there's different types of MS from my understanding as well. But yeah, if you want more information about MS and all the stuff that they do, which they do a lot, for people with MS and people that have family members with for MS, and there's a lot of stuff that they drive their money towards, even research, for example. You can go to nationalmssociety.org, their website. There you can learn how to donate. You can learn about all their resources, treating MS, what the symptoms of MS are, what is MS exactly. You can go there to read it. Unfortunately, YouTube has rules on me giving out health information, so obviously I'm not going to do that. And how to live with MS. They have a lot of different information. They have classes. They have events. There's tons and tons of stuff that they can go to, um, that can be that you can go to on there that can help you. Sorry, my kid's like dragging my arm. I'm like, not right now. But yeah, so check out nationalmssociety.org. That is the charity of today. That's our cause for cleats for today. That also being said, and I'm going to share my screen as I have a video to share with them. So let me go ahead and do that. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me one moment. Oh, gotta. There we go. All right, I'm gonna share this. Here we go. Very good. All right, I'm gonna share this.
We are a movement by and for people affected by multiple sclerosis.
Until we end this disease forever, we will do whatever it takes
to accelerate breakthroughs.
We believe that we are stronger together.
That nobody should face MS alone.
We will be by your side every step of your journey.
From day one.
We'll be your partner through the challenges.
Sharing ideas and finding solutions.
We believe
that people live better lives
when they are understood and supported.
It's hard to hear,
but you look so good
when you feel anything but.
Or to feel like MS is the only thing people see.
we will be there for your loved ones so they can be there for you. We'll shine a light on what it means to live with MS.
Till the rest of the world understands.
We believe that everyone deserves affordable medications.
A doctor who knows MS.
And a healthcare system that puts you first.
You should never have to choose
between paying your bills
and getting the care you need.
We will make sure your voice is heard loud
and clear.
We'll be your champion
from the halls of Congress
to City Hall.
We believe that you should be able to plan for the next 10 years.
Even the next 10 minutes.
Without MS getting in the way.
Complex problems take many solutions.
Coming together in just the right way.
We'll be there to help you piece it all together.
We'll work every day
so you can get what you want from life.
Even while living with this disease.
We believe that no one else should have to face the fear
and uncertainty
of an MS diagnosis.
And that those that have MS
should get back what they've lost.
Curing this disease takes a global effort.
We will fund the most
promising leads
and gather the brightest minds
to find a cure
as fast as possible.
We'll be unrelenting
until the very
end.
We believe that we all have something to contribute.
Whether it's time,
money,
connections,
or sheer passion.
There is strength
in numbers.
We're calling on you to join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Find your place in this movement.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you.
Together, we will create a world free of MS.
Yeah, so thanks to the National MS Society. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for helping my mother out. Thank you for everyone that has MS. Actually, no thank you for that, but thank you for helping people that have MS. And I really believe in this cause, and I think people should donate if you can. Not saying everyone at home should, or anything, but it'd be great if you did. Put it that way. I think that's the best thing to say. So, that being said, let's move on from Cause for Cleats. I appreciate everyone allowing me to play that video. We are gonna go for it's time for some football, right? Miami Dolphins. So let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. We made a lot of moves this offseason, right? Unexpectedly, especially with how much cap space we didn't have at the time. I want to say we were like negative 40 million or something at some point. Then slowly but surely, the eve of free agency comes and we start, this guy, we're going to release Emmanuel Ogba. We released Xavier Howard. That freed up a bunch of cap space alone between two people, right? We released Jerome Baker. What else? We let Christian Wilkins go. That hurt really bad right off the get-go. We let Rob Hunt go. That really hurt right off the get-go, right? They signed ridiculous contracts, and I don't blame them for leaving when they're being offered like top dollar. right? So you're leaving to for 100 and what was it? It was like for 27 million per year, something ridiculous, right? I don't blame Wilkins for taking that money. I don't blame Rob Hunt for leaving for $110 million. Now, granted, in both situations, yeah, that's awesome. You got the money, but it's going to be a hot minute, before, in my opinion, before you even get back to getting into the playoffs back to back years like you have with the Miami Dolphins, for example, right? Or at least getting in that trend where you think you're going to be playing for a winner. We'll see what happens. Again, no knock on the players, no knock on the them taking the money. I don't blame them. I would have to really consider it myself. Um, but it sucks in the sense that there may not be playing for a contender anytime soon. That's just my opinion. Specifically, more so Christian Wilkins, because I know a lot of people might be hot on the Raiders, but I think they have a lot longer to go. They still have to figure out who their quarterback is. They still have to figure out a lot of different, right? You look at the Panthers side. Panthers have a quarterback. Now, is he a bust? That's yet to be seen. He's super young. They need to build around him more. I think addressing the offensive line was key for them. They went and got one of the best guards in the game, in my opinion, at Rob Hunt. So they're on more of a right track. I think if knowing the organization, I think the Panthers might be in a little bit better situation, in my opinion, than the Raiders. Now, people might argue, well, the Raiders have a really good coach. It really has never been an issue for me. It's been the decisions they made with personnel and other maybe outside situations that affected their game, right? That's been the issue. That's my opinion. They also they let their top running back go as well, Josh Jacobs. I wouldn't have let him leave the building. He was pretty decent. I would have kept him, right? But we'll see. We will see what happens with both. It'll be interesting where we are at this point, at the end of end of this season and going into the playoffs, and who, what, where, and when, and what happened. Let's keep moving though. All right. So, what else did we do? We went and we kicked it off with certain players we brought in, right? And I had this up earlier. Let me see here. All right, here we go. Let me see if this actually I want it. Yeah, so these are some of the players we brought in. Not all of them, but some of them. So we brought in safety Jordan Poyer, signed a 1-year deal, super cheap, right? Way less than I thought we would have to pay to get him, to be honest. So he definitely came in, teams up with Tua, so that'll be really good for him. They're friends and everything. We went and got Shaquille Barrett, linebacker. He agreed to a 1-year deal up to $9 million. Right off the bat, inexpensive but effective in position of need, right? Safety was a position of need. Linebacker, position of need. We got a red zone threat even before free agency started, and we signed Jonnu Smith, tight end, right? Guy's a red zone threat. Really good in the red zone area. Signed a 2-year deal, right? Then we went and got, in my opinion, one of the best linebackers that we've had in a long time. We went and got Jordan Brooks, linebacker, signed a 3-year, $30 million deal, right? Really good. He's really good in coverage. I do think that he, alongside David Long Jr., I think he will fit a role perfectly, right? So that, in my opinion, I think is a sneaky good, uh, good value pickup. And I'm not even gonna say I'm not gonna say he's like the best person we got in this free agency, but I'm gonna tell you that I think he's gonna be one of the more important players that we picked up, and definitely good for the money. So let's keep going. Isaiah Wynn, we re-signed him. That was a given. Isaiah Wynn was a starting left guard, in my opinion. You definitely had to address the offensive line. I think Isaiah Wynn coming back was a no-brainer, and we got him for pretty decent, good money for another 1 year. Um, Another sneaky good pickup was Aaron Brewer. He's a O line center. I say O line center because there's some people that kind of think that he can play guard. However, I really think he's going to be the starting center, in my opinion. He fits the scheme specifically as a rushing standpoint. The guy definitely runs. I'm sorry, he definitely can run. He's quick to make sure he picks up blocks. And in our scheme, I think he will definitely fit. Now people are concerned with his uh blocking for passing, pass blocking ability. We'll see. I think that's something that, even Butch Berry and some of the other coaches we've had that have been able to get people that I didn't think would be worth a damn or would be able to be effective in doing that, they got the best out of them. And that's something we're learning with Mike McDaniel. He tends to find whatever it is with each player and tries to maximize that strength 10 times full. So I think that's going to continue to happen. Here's another big time pickup. We lost Xavier Howard, right? You went and got Kendall Fuller, signed a 2-year deal to line up next to Jalen Ramsey as your corner number 2, in my opinion. You also have Cam Smith here, so that was kind of surprising, but I could understand. Cam Smith is still young. He's raw. He didn't get a lot of looks last year to really build the experience. We're in a playoff or bust type of mode right now. We need someone that can fill the role even when Cam Smith can't. So Kendall Fuller, definitely come on down. The guy, he has plenty of starting experience. 96 starts, I think it is, since 2016. Won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. He's familiar with Tyreek Hill, so he has familiarity with some of the players. Um, there's a lot to go watch the tape. That's all I can say. Go watch the tape on Kendall Fuller. Big time move, in my opinion. This move I really like. Next person, come on down. Another linebacker. We signed a bunch of 1-year deals, 2-year deals. Chris Greer is bringing in players to fill in roles at a cheap rate. He's playing Moneyball, but I still think these players bring quality. They're bringing quality to the position. So I do think Anthony Walker, another 1-year deal we signed. I think he's a guy that is going to be kind of a depth piece. You're going to see him play a rotational role depending on what type of look, what type of scheme in the defense we're running, and at different times of the game. You might see David Long Jr. You might see Anthony Walker in there, depending on what's going on and what down and whatnot. 1-year deal, very low risk in my opinion. We re-signed Braxton Berrios. We only had 2 receivers, I want to say, outside of Easy. We had 3 receivers, on the depth chart. You had to re-sign people. Braxton Berrios, no brainer. Benito Jones, come on down. It's been 1 year removed, I want to say. Played for the Lions last year. So, rock and roll. Nice to see you back. So actually, no, it's been more than a year, maybe. I might be wrong. But definitely welcome back. Here's another big move. We lost Christian Wilkins, right? We went and got Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle. Gallimore is one of the several players competing to replace Christian Wilkins' spot, obviously. I will say that he is a big time run stopper. He's more like a nose tackle, kind of, in my opinion. I think he stops the middle, stops the run. He's not like a pure pass rusher like Christian Wilkins would have been. I like this move because we're starting to kind of see where they go with this defense. But then again, we're kind of not. Our defensive coordinator has stated he doesn't want to just be known for one type of scheme. I think it depends on who we're playing, and what we want to accomplish. So that is a good, decent move. Another 1 year deal. Brought back. We needed a corner. We brought back Nick Needham, right, to on a 2 year deal. That's cool. We brought back Nick Needham. We brought back another offensive lineman. Definitely got to address that offensive line, build your depth. Went and brought back offensive guard Robert Jones. So far, outside of the draft, we have Isaiah Wynn, in my opinion, would be your left guard. And then your right guard, more than likely, would be Robert Jones. You could also fit Eichenberg in that right guard, but I think Robert Jones might be a better fit, just my opinion. So let's keep it moving. So then you got it has some familiarity with Tyreek, but you went and got Jody Forston at tight end. That was kind of a need you brought in. And it's kind of interesting we brought tight ends because we've been bringing tight ends for a hot minute. We tried bringing the hybrid wide receiver tight ends. It didn't really work out. We had Julian Hill last year and Durham Smythe. So you got both of those guys. What else can I tell you? We brought in Jonnu Smith, and that will be really big. And now you brought in Jody Forston. And in addition to it, I kind of think that we might in the later rounds, you could see that happening again. I could see it happening, so we'll see what happens. Now we brought in another corner. This guy, Saron Neal. I probably pronounced his first name right. Saron Neal, in my opinion, and actually he is. He's really a special teams, right? He's a special teams kind of guy, and that's somewhere that's a kind of a position in my opinion, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. In 2 games on special teams, we potentially lost the game on special teams. You had the return for touchdown with the Bills game, which lost us really the division, right? We could have had a home game rather than the frozen game that we were at in Kansas City. And then the other game that really kind of hurt us, I want to say Kansas City uh in Germany. I want to say there was a return or something along that lines that really turned the momentum of the game. That was the other time I'm memorable about it. But that is something I kind of think we're in need of. Bringing in more defensive tackles. This list goes on. We've done a lot of moves. We brought in Jonathan Harris, former Denver Bronco. He's going to compete for a starting job. That's very much up to grabs. This is a low risk move, to be honest. ESPN says. I kind of agree. The money wasn't very big and it was decent. We brought in more defensive tackle, Deshaun Hand. We had him last year. Davion Nixon, another defensive tackle. Isaiah Mack, another defensive tackle, and we just recently signed another defensive tackle, Tier Tart, another defensive tackle. So we've signed a handful of defensive tackles, right? Are all these guys going to make it? Probably not. They're probably not going to make the 50. I'm going to say 2, maybe let's speak about. I just realized I was kind of muted there. I apologize. Hopefully not for too long. Hope not. So it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these videos, so I apologize if I'm getting all the rust off. As I do them more and all that stuff, it'll all come back to me. So I apologize. Um, let's talk about Brandon Ayuk a little bit more, right? Brandon Ayuk, he was a guy that the Miami Dolphins were seriously considered drafting. In fact, he was our target until the 49ers jumped up and grabbed him before we did, right? That was who we were supposed to draft from what the reports that came out, from what the team has, I believe, stated. That is a true statement. If you're supposed to draft Brandon Ayuk. Um, and I think he would be killer on this team. Does it make sense, money and the draft capital? No, I don't think we're going to trade the draft capital for it. I don't think it makes sense when you have to pay uh, Jalen Waddle, and you still have Tyreek here still as well, right? The money just doesn't make sense. And why I'm bringing this up, and why we're even talking about it is that I just want people to know that as much as I would love Brandon Ayuk or a type of player like that, I just don't see that type of receiver coming here. I don't see T. Higgins trade really happening because we really need all the draft capital we need to bring in depth in this team. I can't just trade for a player that's on 1 year of a contract and letting him go and all that draft capital, going bye bye. I can't, and I don't see us giving money to another player before we give it to Jalen Waddle. So, just my opinion. What else can I tell you? I do. I think OBJ is much more realistic than trading for T. Higgins or trading for Brandon Ayuk, or anyone else at that matter. I think it makes sense. He's dynamic. I think he's a player you could bring in and give a day off to a Tyreek or a Jalen Waddle and still, not lose a beat, to be honest. But just because we could bring OBJ in, and I still think we do, or we attempt to, right? Or we do bring somebody in to be the wide receiver number 3. I still think we draft a receiver, possibly. Not necessarily with the first and second pick, but later on in the draft, maybe with our 5th round pick, I could see it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when we do my mock draft. So I'm excited for that. What else to talk about? Offensive tackle. People are thinking we're going to draft an offensive tackle in this draft. I do, but I don't think it's going to come when you guys think. I think it's going to be very similar to last year. We're going to end up using one of the last picks we have for an offensive tackle. And the reason for that is Miami has already kind of shown the cards. They're not going to invest top dollar into offensive line. They re-signed Kendall Lamb. They signed Austin Jackson already to a big time deal. Not really big time deal, but a decent multi-year deal. So, and you brought in Brewers, and who else did we bring in? Jack Driscoll, I think, is somebody we kind of forgot about on the list. We brought him in, right? You re-signed Isaiah Wynn. You re-signed Robert Jones. These are all players that I think you brought in and you kind of addressed the position. I think offensive tackle, in my opinion, is a possibility. I will say this, depending on who's on the board, I think it's definitely a possibility for the Dolphins. However, I don't see it coming with the first pick. And the reason I say that is because generally with the first pick, yes, you're generally going to go with BPA. That's what you want to do. But ultimately, you want to make sure that you are also bringing in someone that's going to be a bona fide starter. If you have Armstead, you have Kendall Lamb, then you have your first round pick. If that's the order for left tackle, I just don't see it happening. And I think Armstead is going to be good where he's at. And then you're like, well, I'll bring in one of these transition guys that can play tackle and play guard. Yeah, that's a possibility, but you're going to tell me that that person's going to take Isaiah Wynn's job? I don't know. And then he's going to be fighting for one position, and that one position is going to be maybe the right guard position. And there's already a bunch of guys fighting for that position. So I don't know if they bring in with the first pick an offensive lineman. Personally, with what I know is going to be on the board, when I say I know, it's really already kind of given who the top 10 picks are going to kind of be based on who's available, who needs what. A lot of people are trying to jockey up, get those quarterbacks. You know what I mean? There's going to be several players at our disposal at pick 21. One, Graham Barton, who's a name going around. That's one a lot of people are saying that there's a lot of talks about that the Miami is in on. Yeah, he could, he could definitely play guard. That's definitely a possibility. I just don't know if he'll be there. I think he could be taken before he's already gone, and then at that point, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't believe in the center from Oregon, JPJ or whatever his name is. I'm not a believer. I think he's a bust. I think he's another Eichenberg, to be honest. No offense to Mr. Eichenberg. I think he's definitely grown from where he was at. And when I say another Eichenberg, I'm going to tell you it's a project. It's going to be multiple years before he really shows his value to the team, like Eichenberg did. And I'm not an Eichenberg hater. I like him. I think he did very well, formidable last season. Filled in a center role pretty decently, and even filled in at left tackle and guard when needed. Right. So shout out to Mr. Eichenberg. No offense, like I said, but as I was saying, I just don't know if the Miami Dolphins are really going to be looking at picking up a offensive tackle or an offensive lineman in general with that number 21. Maybe if certain players are there, it's a no-brainer. You would do it kind of like what we did with Tunzel. So we'll see. We'll see. That'll be very interesting what happens. I personally think one of two things happen. It's either going to be a big-time trench defensive tackle that drops to us, which there's certain guys I like, or edge. Edge is a position right there with the D-line. Or we're going to trade back. And then you might see us pick up a receiver or other type of players in positions. And we'll talk about that as we do my mock draft. I won't give that away. But I kind of think that this offensive lineman only happens if certain person's on. That's the only time I see this happen. Because I really think that you can get really what we need in the trenches, both in the first and second round, but in a certain, which we'll see what happens, and I'll play it out for you. What else? What else can we talk about before we do the mock draft? Let's see. We're at the 1 hour mark. I'm only really looking to go for maybe an hour and a half. Let's go ahead and do the mock draft. That's what we'll do. So let me share my screen here. We're gonna get this up and going. Share screen. Here we go. All right. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. Make it a little bigger for y'all. And let me make some changes to this real quick. We're going to go 7th round draft pick. I'm going to have them pick fast. I will hopefully be able to review who they picked up, and we'll talk about players and stuff like that. We're gonna pick the Miami Dolphins. And yeah, let's go ahead and enter the solo draft. So, by the way, I am not gonna make any trades. I will talk about them. We have a trade right off the get-go, right? And again, this is my one and only mock draft I'm doing on my content. And this is my legit take on what I think the Dolphins are going to do, and we'll be analyzing and talking about it together. So, they're wanting pick 21, pick 241. They're giving me pick 49, 80, 97, and yeah, no way. I'm not saying I need a first round pick. We really need a big time bona fide starter right off the get go. I need my first round picks. Pick 52, 83, 99. Next year's second and third. Yeah, if people are really offering all these picks, I wouldn't blame Miami to at least think about it, but we really need somebody now. We have a lot of positions we got to fill. At least, yeah, we need picks. So we need to make this pick for sure. Let's see. Houston. The other one was kind of nicer, to be honest. Let's see. I think that's it. I don't like any of these. I'm going to hide that. Don't like any of them. Let's see who's on the board. We have Latu or Leah Latu. This is an edge player I would really love. I think he would fit nicely. It gives the ability that Phillips doesn't have to come back right away. He can take it slower, be more fresh for the endurance of the entire season rather than being ready for day one. I know both him and Bradley Chubb want to be ready for day one. I get that, but bringing in a guy like this, and I think he's going to be something special personally. You ever? I don't know if ever some of the best defenses like the 49ers you look at the Rams. They have that guy that's the it factor. He has ability that, in my opinion, an it factor. It'll be very interesting. Let's see what they say about him. His strengths: he's explosive, energized rusher with control to the offset and exploit blockers. Love it. Has elite hip flexibility, ankle flexion, and bend capacity for his size. Right? I don't think I pronounced that word correctly. Sorry about that. Advanced hand fighter whose hips rest on the gyroscope. Hand fighter. I love that. I love knowing that. Advanced hand fight. Unlocking torque on punches. That's awesome. Stacks inside, outside hand counters and combos with rare quickness and efficiency. This is a guy I'm looking at. Could definitely be a guy that I'm going to take. Let's see who else is on the board. Jared Verse, a bolt of lightning off the snap, who immediately stresses tackles and vertically to the apex. High octane, hyperactive athlete who moves in short, successive bursts of energy. Instant burst lengths of motor combined to form extremely imposing power profile. Can flash his hands to widen tackles, then explode inside with violent bull rushes. Flashes high-end ability as a technician and can build off of power exertions. Superlative run defender with overwhelming stacking strength and pursuit energy. His weakness: visibility, lack elite hip flexibility, and bend when attempting to roll through the apex. Hold on one second. Let's go back to Latu. I didn't read his weakness. Arm length isn't elite, so his arm length. What's up with arm length? All the players I like or we hear good stuff about who's been in the ear throughout the draft process have short arms. Eichenberg, that was the knock on him, and everybody said he was going to be a first round pick. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's up with that. I was just curious. This is my consensus. What I think the Dolphins are going to end up with, because I think he'll be here, and I think he's a smart pick. But for some reason, a lot of players not players, what am I saying? A lot of um like mock drafts and a lot of people in in the media and stuff like that are not as high on this guy as what I may be. Shout out to Jack Driscoll. He kind of brought my eye to him. I've watched tapes on this guy. I think he's a exact fit for fit kind of guy to replace Christian Wilkins. And what I mean by that is he's very similar. Um, but I think, in my opinion, I think he has some ability to be better than Christian Wilkins. I think he's more pure pass rusher than Christian Wilkins. I think he'll get to the quarterback, um, right off the get go, more so than even what Christian Wilkins did. Has excellent natural leverage, all encompassing alignment, versatility, explosive, high energy athlete, hyper elite torso, has the bend to rush 5 and 7 tech using high end ankle flex and hand usage. Hands are always active, violent, packs impressive strength, lacks elite mass, and can be more easily gathered by double teams. This is an issue. Um, Average length occasionally snaps away at maximum power. Occasionally jumps the snap. Okay, jumps the snap that can be I kind of taught. Certain stances and maneuvers can be taught. I think to get out of the double team, especially if you have explosive high energy, strength impacts impressive strength. I think you should be able to fight out of that, in my opinion. Um, but I can understand why they're saying it's a weakness. Now, these are some guys I think that they could go with. Byron Murphy, he reminds me a lot of Christian Wilkins too, but I don't know. A lot of people are a lot higher on him over Johnny Newton. I don't know why. And if you're wondering, some people have him as Johnny Newton. Some places have him by his actual name, Jazir Newton. So I'm just gonna go with what they have, Johnny Newton here. Let's see. Byron Murphy has perfect blend of natural leverage, hyper explosive, torque, freedom, high level force. Uh, doesn't quite have the elite ankle flex to pinch rushing angles. Sometimes lacks the hip fluidity and still be quicker and more consistent at adapting. At times, his hyperactive energy can be a bit uncontrolled. Yeah, I kind of want someone that's more controlled force than anything else. So some of these are some of the guys. Graham Barton is still here. But like I said, I don't think it'll be here, but I don't think he's really a guy I'm going to be looking at, to be honest, especially with our first pick. I think getting an elite possible pillar on the defensive line, it's not very often you can. And I like a lot of these guys. There's one guy I like a little bit better than I like Johnny Newton. I like Leatu Latu. I'm gonna go with Leatu Latu. I think having him be able to be there along Chubbs or even Phillips at any given moment, I think that is going to be key. I think it brings depth to that position. Um, I think that would be awesome. To be honest, that's what I think I'm gonna do. Just so you know, for argument's sake, don't necessarily look at the names either that I'm picking in this month. Look at the positions, right? Or the position that might be related to like the defensive line. I think the pick is either going to be Latu Latu or a defensive tackle, specifically Johnny Newton. I think that's what this is going to be. So I think the defense gets the first pick, and I'm going to go Latu Latu. Ooh, so Ravens want 55 at 62. Let's see. Next year's third. kind of tempting. Nobody else is offering anything. Let's see what happened in the first round. I should have done that before. Caleb Williams knew it. Drake knew it. Jaden Daniels, yeah. Patriots. Cardinals get Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of people think he might go to the Chargers, but last year I said you can actually it was right after last year's draft. I said, watch with the picks that the Cardinals did, I bet you they lined themselves up for Marvin Harrison. That's exactly what they did here. Malik Neighbors, that's a good number 2 wide receiver, I think. Not number 2 wide receiver, but I'm talking about in this draft. I think he's the second best option. Let's see. Yeah, New York. I know there was some article I read that Caleb Williams would have loved to team up with this guy. But I definitely see why the Giants went after him. Joe Alt, definitely an offensive tackle. I saw that happening. Dallas Turner, interesting. Chicago goes wide receiver along with Caleb Williams. Rome Dunze, I don't know how to say his name. Apologize. Brock Bowers to the Jets. I don't like it, but I understand it. Terrion Arnold. Interesting. JJ McCarthy. Now, this is interesting. Broncos went with JJ McCarthy. Right? One, I think he actually goes higher, to be honest. I think somebody trades up to get him, to be honest. But what's interesting about it is Zach Wilson just got traded to the Broncos, right? And in my opinion, I know I'm going to get called a hater for this, but I'm going to just give you a little bit of comparison, right? Zach Wilson came out of nowhere and ended up being top 3 quarterback drafted in the draft because he threw this amazing bomb. It was like 60, 70 yards, whatever. And everyone fell in love with him instantly, right? Pretty boy face, all that. JJ McCarthy, out of nowhere, not expected to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks, but out of nowhere, throws this 70-yard bomb. Everybody's falling in love with him. JJ McCarthy, right? Imagine them getting Zach Wilson and then getting Zach Wilson 2.0 at the same time, right? I just think it's kind of funny. I think it's funny. But I do understand. I think JJ McCarthy with the Broncos would be pretty interesting. I think he is the type of quarterback you have with a blue collar style of coach like Sean Payton. So I definitely agree with it. It'll be very interesting on what happens there. So very interesting. Let's see. Kind of falling down the way I thought. Shout out to Toledo. Kenyon Mitchell, man, one of the fastest corners in this draft. Definitely shout out. I always shout out my hometown where I was born, Toledo. They have University of Toledo, so shout out to them. Definitely seeing Latham going to the Jaguars. I definitely see that. Nate Wiggins, okay, definitely. Brian Thomas Jr. This is a wide receiver to watch out. If he falls to us, he's a possibility depending on who's there. I went late to Xavier Worthy to the Eagles. That's very interesting. I don't know if wide receiver really is where they're going to go. I see some other positional needs. I think they have. I definitely seeing the fact that they went and got their big time defensive coordinator with the guy who will not name. I'm just messing with you guys. I think defense is really big. I think that's what they're going to go. But if you don't see him go to the Eagles, a team that I really think is going to go after him, and they just re-signed their first round pick from a couple drafts ago, is the Ravens. The Ravens went and re-signed Bateman, and I kind of think if I'm Lamar Jackson, I want a fast receiver like that. You know what I mean? So I definitely think he's going to be a guy they pick up. Another team to look at possibly, they just re-signed Amon St. Brown, and it makes sense on why they would get another receiver. Look at the Lions. They end up with Kool-Aid here. Deion Coleman went to the Bills of all places. And in this draft, San Francisco, another beast in the defense, man. I'm telling you, if we don't get Latu, it's Johnny Newton. I really think that's really where we need to go here. Oh, so remember how I said the second round? I really see there could be an offensive line option for us. Zach Frazier is a guy I'm looking at. Watch us. We could actually move up in the second round. If he drops in the draft, we could move up to grab this guy. He can play guard. He definitely did in 2020 at a very high level. So he can be our backup center, but starting guard, I could definitely see that happen. So Isaiah Wynn, starter. I think Zach Frazier beats out everybody at the right guard position, and I think it definitely happens. That's what my pick would have been. But I'm gonna stick with this. This is what happens. Let's see who we got here. So we're gonna go to my pick. So let's see what we got here. So we got Trey Benson, running back, Florida State. Cooper Beebe, offensive guard at Kansas State. Chris Braswell, edge at Alabama. Cameron Kitchens, safety out of Miami. I like that pick. Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle. That's a good pick too. Let's try to see what we got here. Jonathan Brooks, running back. I don't expect us to go running back until the 6th round of this draft. I don't think we're gonna do that. Let's go to the offense real quick. I want to go offensive guard. Who we got? For BB, hyper dense, well deserved lineman, elite mass physically. Has great burst, 6'3", 320 pounds, can run runners with power, shock rushers, forceful punches, day one position flex lineman. I kind of like this. Yeah, I think you're gonna go with the next best guard here. I'm gonna go with Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State. Like I said, don't look at the names, look at the position. That's kind of what I'm more basing this off because I really think this is kind of what you're gonna see. Again, I do expect us to make some trades, maybe not day one, but day two, possibly day three. You could see some trading going on. But it'll be very interesting. All right, so we're at pick 158. Just to recap, if you're just joining us, we just drafted Leatu Latu, who I think is going to be the pick. It's not him. It's my second guy, Johnny Newton. Either one. They were both on the board. Cooper Beebe, offensive guard. I think you're going to get your starting guard in the second round. You can go with Beebe or Frazier. I think Frazier would be good because the versatility. You can play center and guard, very high, effective. Could be starter in both positions. I think that could happen. So we're at pick 158. I'm going to go see who's available here. Got Marshawn Lloyd, Javian Solomon. Let's see. Went guard and we went edge. Javion Baker. Keith Smith at safety. All right, so this is what I think could happen. Let's see if they have no info on him. Yeah, I was hoping they had some stats on both those guys. They don't. At this point, we're in the fifth. We're what in the 5th round now, with no 3rd or 4th draft pick or round draft pick. That's why I think a trade could happen. So be prepared. And I'm not going to say that I've heard anything or anything like that because I haven't. But don't be surprised if we actually make some type of day of the draft trade, not first round, but like in the second day maybe trade where we trade a player for more draft picks. There could be a player on our team that trade. Just be prepared. I won't be surprised. I've seen stuff like that happen before. It could happen. So, and I'm not saying anybody big name, but there might be. There could be. So just keep your eyes open. We need the help, so that's kind of why I think it's a possibility. Just keep the card out. Not saying it would happen, but never know. I think wide receiver could be picked up here. There's a lot of guys I like, but they maybe have already been taken. There could be one or two of those guys that could fall to us with this 5th round pick. Luke McCaffrey, I kind of like. I kind of like what I've seen on tape. I haven't looked at Javon Baker enough. I'll have to look into that. So don't look at it for a player like who we could, what position, what player we're picking specifically. Look at position. I think at this point, when you're in the 5th round, you're going to be drafting position at this point, right? I like safety here. I think wide receiver is the pick, though. Looking at the wide receivers that we have, I'm going to go with Luke McCaffrey. I don't know, Javon Baker, though. Let's see if I can get any quick info. Let's see here. I usually use Walter Football to get some of my draft information, but I'm just trying to see if there's any here we go, strengths and weaknesses. Brings NFL's ready size, strength, effectively using speed variations to outmaneuver defenders. Let's see what else. Displays impressive quickness, lateral mobility, enhancing his route running and yak potential. Wins downfield, capable, effective hand fighting. I like that. Sometimes displays below average acceleration. May struggle with press coverage. Occasional focus laps lead to disappointing drops. I don't like that. Don't like that. Wins downfield. Okay, displays impressive quickness. Excels at making catches in traffic. Trafficking the ball over his shoulder. Demonstrates superior route running. Superior route running ability. I like that. Let's look up one more person. I'm going to look up McCaffrey. Because really, I think at this point, I think he might be our guy real quick. Let's see. Luke McCaffrey. Couldn't think of his first name. Here we go. Let's see what they got. Impressive in contested catch situations. That's awesome. Exhibits an impressive football IQ, leveraging his quarterback background to enhance his understanding of the game. Exceptional at making himself available for quarterbacks. Demonstrates quick, controlled footwork. Possesses his natural ball carrying instincts. Proves to be a formidable competitor in contested catches. Catch scenarios unfazed by middle field contact and accelerate swiftly. His route running showed marked improvement over the course of the season. Lacks consistent stem work. His experience at receiver position occasionally leads to technical missteps. Thinner frame in physical confronting. How tall is he? 6'2", 198 pounds. And Von Baker was 6'1", 202 pounds. Ugh, tough choice. I think for the draft, I'm going to go Javon Baker here. It's a tough choice between him and Luke McCaffrey. I'm going to go with Baker because of the excellent route running. What concerned me about Luke McCaffrey because of his inexperience, they're saying that he's more likely to have some missteps. But that you can be coached out of that. You can be coached up. I'm just going to say wide receiver is the pick here, but I'm going to pick Javon Baker. This is where things get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into the 6th round here. Let's see who is on the board. Eric All, tight end. I like this Eric All pick. I'm going to tell you why. I liked what I saw from him at the combine. Um, Iowa is known for their tight ends. They're tight end U. Big Ten tight ends are the kind of guys I like. Kittle, guys like that out of the Big Ten, are definitely tight ends where to go. I'm gonna go with Eric All in this pick. I think it's a no-brainer. You're adding depth to your room. So now we have Jonnu Smith, you have Julian Hill, you have Durham Smythe, and then you have Eric All. That's your tight end right there. Another trade. I'm just staying where I'm at. Just curious. That's the only person offering anything. Yeah, I'll leave that. So, position that we haven't discussed yet, safety. Need to bring in somebody, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the inconvenience. There was some technical difficulties, so some of this is going to be cut out of the original take, and we're going to fast forward to where we were at here. So, with the first round, we picked Leatu Latu. As you already knew, I had options for pretty much everybody that I possibly would want there. I think Leatu Latu. I think you're dumb if you miss out on him. I think he is going to be the guy that's going to come in immediately, be a force and impact on the defense. Seeing him play across from Chubbs or Jalen Phillips at any moment, or possibly having all three on the field at once, is scary to me. I think that would be awesome. You could get Johnny Newton, for example, and still, be really scary, tough. I think he's a guy, impactful player, will come in and be able to play right away. People are asking, well, why didn't you go offensive line? That seems the consensus. Everyone thinks that's what we're going to do. We could go offensive line. I think it really depends on who's there on the board. My only issue with jumping to grab Graham Barton, to be honest, is primarily because I don't really know. I don't really know if he's a guy that we could really. How do I say this? He's not going to be an instant starter right away. That's kind of where I'm at, right? I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to come in and immediately be able to start. Maybe eventually down the road, but I don't think he's the starter. And I think with the first pick, you need someone that can start day one, no questions asked, right from the get go. He's the consensus starter. And I think Leatu Latu could eventually become that. And depending on what happens, that could allow us to trade certain players or move off of certain players at a certain point. Hint, possible trade down the road or moving off of a certain person down the road. We'll talk more about that on another episode. But let's keep moving here. So I picked up Cooper Beebe in the second round, offensive guard. The player, he was the best I think it was available at the time. I was really looking for maybe Frazier. They had Frazier going in the first round. I don't really think that happens. I think he falls to the mid second round, maybe to us, and I think we could move up to grab him technically. And then you look, we got Javon Baker, not Jerome Baker, but Javon Baker, wide receiver out of UCF. Fast kid, not afraid to run across the middle, excellent elite route running. Read some good things about him. So I definitely liked him. Eric All, tight end, University out of Iowa. You got to get tight end from Iowa. Big Ten, if you didn't know, all the good tight ends come out of the Big Ten. Eric All, tight end, is going to be the pick, I think. Or you could maybe see a safety at that position too. But Eric All was really good and he was surprisingly there, so I grabbed him. And then I was able to pick up safety with Josh Proctor out of Ohio State. Definitely a guy that has is very quick, fast, not afraid to make tackles and close down the ball. Has a lot of talent. Definitely a good kid. I think he'd be perfect, especially around the line, rushing the quarterback and playing along the line. I think he'd be really good lined up next to Javon Holland. And then you have a kicker. I think it could be QB here, but I went with kicker. Joshua Cardi, I've heard some good things out of him in Stanford, so I am picking him up. He's my guy that I decided to go with, and this is my 2024 legit draft. I think this could possibly happen. It'll be very interesting. I'm not going to say that these players specifically are going to be the ones that picked, but I'm going to tell you, look at the positions. I think this is what we're going to come away with, the positions specifically. So we will see. We'll see what happens, but I think this is what it's going to look like. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with me. It was definitely fun. I had a really good time. I cannot wait till the next time. We're probably going to be doing shows once every other day. I'm going to try and get back into the group of things. I know the show was not the best. Had a lot of rust. I was kind of rusty speaking and thinking on the fly and whatnot. But that's okay. That's part of it. That's part of being a content creator, right? So I'm gonna brush that off. I'm gonna get going. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But until then, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments who you think the Miami Dolphins are before draft time, and come hang out with us. Come hang out on Shake's show. He's doing live, I believe. He's gonna be calling the draft. I'm gonna be there. Probably everybody else will be there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But anyway, love you all. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. You know what to do. Yeah.